Okay, so what we want to do now is to actually do something when we click on the button itself. And we want to remove the item that we will pass in. And this is going to be a method that receives an item and which also calls let's call it delete item so we can tell the difference between those. And we're going to pass in item. What does this mean exactly? That we need to now implement the delete item method on the Meteor side. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. That will be in items, the import that we do, and we want to create another method here, delete item. And we're going to pass in the ID to be the same as item.id. Okay. So let's see how that works. Let's remove this one. Okay, we're going to remove this with no price next. Okay, seems to be working now. I'm going to bring in the console now. Okay, and refresh the page. So it says that we didn't use a proper name for VList action. Let me double check that. And sure enough, it is VList item action. Okay, refreshing once more. And we got rid of those errors. Okay, so I'm going to clear the console now and start removing stuff. Okay, so you can tell that the response now is whatever this action does. So in this case, it's telling us how many items it found to be removed, and that's Mongo doing its job. So one item removed after clicking here. Cool. So now we have a way to enter new stuff here. And it will be appended to the list, which is nice. But notice that we are not clearing the form after submitting it, and that would be probably nice to have. So let's go ahead and do that. Over in the save new item, once we're certain that it did save, what we can do is restore. Okay, so let's try this and see what happens. Okay, didn't do anything. And the reason for that is because within here, we are creating a detached scope from the Vue instance. And that happened because we're using a function, a normal function, which creates its own scope in here. That's my explanation for that. What you can do instead is use an arrow function, which will instead inherit that scope of the Vue instance. And in that case, this will become the this that is accessible by the Vue instance. And thus, item should clear because we are setting the new values for it. Let's go ahead and try now. Okay, I'm gonna save. And sure enough, now it is cleared. Hopefully that made sense. So we're going to refactor this to be in an arrow function as well. That's good. Awesome. All right. So deleting implemented successfully, as well as bringing in the icons. Cool. Let's move on.